piece, you can imagine yourself dancing, and it's fun and amusing song.
Good, thank you, Apple. Just before we play, I should especially mention that I hope you enjoyed your food, but that, did any of you have those brownies, little brownies? Yes, I'm sure, because they're mostly all gone. So fortunately, not all, because I came away with an extra one. And the reason I've done that is because you may not all know that they were made personally by Apple.
Right, so that was a performance by John and Apple. This next piece we're gonna play one by, which is composed by Germaine Tailleferre, and it's called the Jeux. So it's French. So just a little bit info about her. She was born between 1892 and 1983, so that's like between Romantic century or 20th century. This piece particular will be sounding more towards the 20th century. And we're just going to play the first movement, since there's two. And what's it called again, the first movement?
La
Yeah.
Good job.
So we're going to have it now. Well, guys enjoy.
Could I get you to come and rest in one of my patients?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to just come to us? furniture shifting going on. Let me just tell you a little bit about this piece after that wonderful games in the open air we've just heard. These variations were written back in the 1980s for first performance in the school in London, where I was teaching at the time. And I've had a few performances since then. But I can tell you that tonight, this is the first performance outside the United Kingdom. The first Asian performance. Quite probably the last as well. But you were here when it happened, right? You were here. And it was written because we thought it would be good fun to write a piece like this for 8 people at 2 pianos that involved pianists of various, the parts are of varying difficulty. The higher up the piano you go, the harder the parts get. So I'm playing right at the bottom of one of the pianos. The tune is Auld Lang Syne, which, do you know the tune? You've heard of Auld Lang Syne? Yes. I mean, it's quite appropriate, really, because our time, my colleague Janet and I, our time in Brunei on this occasion is almost at an end. So as it happens, it's a very appropriate little song of farewell, Auld Lang Syne. And I thought I'd just quickly talk you through what's happening, so you know what to expect. We'll be playing the tune first of all. It begins with one of the pianos here, piano 1 first, and then it goes on to piano 2 there, and then we all come in and play the rest of the tune through. Variation 1 is really the tune, but just with lots of bells and so on top. You may, if you listen very carefully, hear when we get to variation 2, some familiar strains from Tchaikovsky, if you listen very, very carefully. And then the tune from Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto merges nicely with Auld Lang Syne, as if Tchaikovsky had intended that should be the case. If you're still concentrating after that, you may just spot a change in mood and hints of Chopin's Funeral March and little notes that might have come from Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. The 4th variation is a sort of fantasy that just drifts through various keys. And with a hint of that Autumn Leaves song, the Feuilles Mortes, you may know from France. Variation 5 is a mini fugue, where one part comes in with a variation of the tune first, and then another part with the same variation, and then a 3rd part on top, and then a 4th part on top, and then eventually all 8 of us play together. It ends with a sort of circus. And then the last variation begins with a fanfare, which you might catch strains of the famous Trumpet Voluntary by Jeremiah Clarke. And then we're off, and the melody goes hell for leather to the end, underneath a sort of virtuoso accompaniment at the top of each piano, a bit like the arrival of the Queen of Sheba by Handel. And then we end with a sort of climax of mock splendour at the very end, which you can't fail to notice. And that's it, that will be the end of the concert. So the only other thing I want to do is thank all our great pianists here and all of you, but also remind you that the beautiful China Rizkun bowl will be by the door, and it's not yet full. while you're on top. And that's it, isn't it? So thank you all again very much for coming. Well done to all of you. Fantastic.
Yes, well done.
Please do mingle and stay back for photographs.
Everyone. Oh.